are going to ask the gentleman, and you have to start our meeting.
Hello, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Mahmood and the BAME group for inviting me to speak. I'd also like to thank Neil Hayden for the support that he's given to United Against Fascism in the last year. I did have a long speech, actually that I was going to present to you today, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to talk about the bargaining campaign. Obviously, I'm sure many of you are aware now that Nick Griffin, the leader of the fascist BNP, is proposing to stand for the general election in Barking. Obviously, this is a terrible situation for Barking and for all of us in the Labour and London boroughs. Barking boundaries are changing for this election. Obviously, there are 12 BNP councillors in Barking, 11 of which will now be in the new constituency of Barking. Under these circumstances, it's hardly surprising that Nick Griffin has chosen this area to stand in his first election bid for Westminster. I mean, even if he doesn't win, the publicity that's been generated for the BNP for the local elections, which I think at the moment have been scheduled for the 6th of May, obviously that would be a lot of publicity for the BNP, and we don't want this to happen. Obviously, the 6th of May is also a likely date for the general election. The BNP is currently the second biggest party in Barking and Dagenham Borough, and if it takes over the council, then it will have access to £300 million annually, which you can imagine what they can do with that. Obviously, they could cause devastation in Barking, which take generations to repair. Obviously, in Barking, the BNP can exploit a lot of local issues. They've exploited issues with housing. They recently ran a campaign which was called Africans for Essex, which was a scheme that basically claimed that the local council were giving £50,000 worth of grants to African families to buy properties in the borough. And at the same time, while they were peddling these lies, they also voted to actually not increase the number of council houses that have been built in Barking. Another one of the lies that the BNP are peddling in Barking is they're actually challenging people who are going for immigration status at the moment, and they're going to them and saying, we are the British National Party. So obviously it's in your interest, if you want to live in this country, that you vote for us. And actually it's working. If you have no idea about British politics, then you're going to be quite easily duped. And it's those sorts of things that we need to tackle, QAM, and we need to mobilise as many people to get to Barking as possible. And I'll try and be brief about this. Obviously, nationally, the BNP benefited from a rising tide of racism in the press, which has been particularly targeting Muslim groups and migrant workers. And together, obviously, with the fear of people's jobs and their homes, etc., their economic situation, they've managed to steadily increase the number of councillors that they have in the area over the last decade. And we proposed a campaign in Barking, a massive campaign in Barking, 2 strands, basically systematic leafleting of the area and public rallies across the constituency to drive home the message that Griffin and BNP are Nazis, and that Barking and its communities are united in driving those people out. We also had planned a high-profile music event in the area, which will happen in May. London Music Hate Racism is our sister organisation, and we're obviously trying to raise the spirits of confidence of anti-racists, draw young people into the campaign, and challenge the media depiction of Barking as a haven for racists. In such a campaign would lay the basis for people to feel confident and proud of Barking's multicultural character, and give people the inspiration to drive the fascists out, just as they did in the Isle of Dogs in the early 90s. The successful driving into the BNP in the 90s involved mobilising people from across London and south to the east against the Nazis, and we'll do the same in Barking. The BNP control every activist that they have into this campaign, and we've got to be sure that we do the same for them as well. UAF plans to open a campaign office in Barking as headquarters for a Barking UAF group, meeting space for anti-BNP protesters, and activists, and a general pickup point for leaflets and postcards, etc. Other anti-BNP material that we need to put through people's doors. We also liaise with local community groups, workplaces, schools and colleges to coordinate an anti-BNP campaign. The idea is to create a network of activists across the constituency, working alongside trade unions and local community groups. Let's move to the next one. Basically, the single biggest weakness that BNP faces is that most people hate it. It's by tapping into this anti-Nazi majority that we can defeat in Griffin. And the turnout to marking a dagger in the 2006 local elections was just 39%. So there's massive room for improvement. We can improve that figure and encourage the anti-BNP majority to come out and vote against it in Griffin. And we should note that, contrary to media image marking, it's actually a very multi-racial area. Instead of becoming more mixed, especially establishment across London moved to Barking and Dagenham in search of affordable housing. Mobilising the ethnic minority communities is a key first step in defeating the We should note again that, contrary to the media image, traditionally predominantly white working class population of Barking and Dagenham has a history of radicalism, trade union organisation, and opposition to racism and fascism. This tradition of working class pride and solidarity is not dead in Barking, and it can be successfully tapped in to stop their Griffin. UF therefore proposes a high-profile campaign based on bringing all these communities in Barking together under a single and simple message that Griffin is a Nazi and people should use their vote. This is key, basically, that people should come out and vote to drive it out. I mean, basically, a humiliation for Nick Griffin in Barking now would be a humiliation for the BNP everywhere. It would prove to people that even in a so-called stronghold for the BNP, actually the BNP can be defeated and we can take on all over the country. And to this... Sorry, I wasn't quite prepared for that. To this end, in Waltham Forest, we are trying to mobilise our support, as much support as we can get for the Barking campaign. We have a meeting, an important meeting for us, on the 14th of January, Thursday the 14th, which will be at the Quakers Meeting House in Walthamstow. It starts at 7:30. And we're going to elect a new Waltham Forest UAF committee in order to see what support we can give to Barking. And we've got so far contacted local trade unions and community groups, and we're trying to build basically a broad, united front as possible. So I'd like to invite anybody here tonight, if they want to come to this meeting, if they want to come to this meeting on the 14th of January, please you can see me after the meeting and we can discuss it then. I'd also like to raise your attention to one other issue, which is that United Against Fascism have our annual conference on Saturday the 13th of February at the TUC Congress Centre in London. Thank you very much. I'd just like to say I hope to see you all at our meeting. Obviously, if you all come, we'll have to find somewhere else. Thanks very much.